$1 million, full scholarships, just a few incentives for Ohio residents to get the COVID vaccine. The state announcing its first winners tonight. NBC News Now co-anchor Morgan Radford is in Columbus.
Allison, that's right. One lucky winner is going to be announced tonight at 7:29 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be the first winner of 5 weekly winners here in the Ohio Vax-A-Million lottery system. But the truth is, Allison, this is just one of several states implementing these really creative ways to make sure that people get vaccinated. Take a listen. Good news and hope ahead of the first holiday weekend of the summer. COVID infections down to levels not seen since last June. And the U.S. hitting a major milestone Tuesday with half of all adults now fully vaccinated. As states push to get shots in arms for the rest, for more than 2.7 million Ohio residents, their COVID-19 vaccinations aren't just their ticket to immunity, but maybe $1 million. What do you think about the Vax-A-Million lottery here in Ohio?
I mean, it's a pretty cool thing.
The state holding its first of 5 $1 million drawings tonight for people who have gotten at least their first dose. For those under 18, they could win a full scholarship to any Ohio State college or university. Did the Ohio lottery play a role at all in your decision to come get vaccinated?
I wouldn't say overall, but it's definitely extra motivation.
Despite criticism from state lawmakers saying it's a waste of taxpayer money, the governor says it's working.
We've increased the number of people getting vaccinated by 45%. Where we've seen the most increase in vaccinations is those 16 and 17-year-olds, 94% increase among that age group. So that's very exciting.
Ohio is one of many states and companies offering incentives to boost vaccinations. Delaware becoming the latest state to announce a vaccine lottery. And in West Virginia, people 16 to 35 can get $100 savings bonds. United Airlines is even offering its loyalty program members a chance to win free flights. And it appears to be paying off as the U.S. hits that 50% vaccinated milestone for adults. Moderna also announcing its vaccine is 100% effective in kids ages 12 to 17. If authorized for use, it would be the second vaccine available to younger Americans. Another step towards getting the country back on its feet. When I asked the governor why he chose this particular method to incentivize his residents, he said, look, because this is the way to get those people who are on the fence, for whom it would take something pretty serious besides just protecting their health to get them to take the vaccine. So that's who he's targeting right now, those people who are still a bit skeptical.
Let's bring in Dr. Uche Blackstock, NBC News medical contributor and emergency medicine physician. Dr. Blackstock, the White House encouraging states to offer vaccine incentives like Ohio's $1 million lottery. Here's senior advisor Andy Slavitt.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has unlocked a secret. People do care about getting vaccinated, but it turns out they also have other things they care about. Some of those things might encourage people to think about what might otherwise be a lower priority. Bottom line is, with this guidance, we encourage states to use their creativity to draw attention to vaccines and to get their states and the country back to normal as quickly as possible.
So, Dr. Blackstock, what do you think of using lotteries or other prizes to persuade people to get the vaccine?
Well, Allison, I agree. I think these incentive programs are smart and innovative ways to get people vaccinated. We're already through the phase 1 of the vaccination process, and those were people who were more than willing to get vaccinated. And now we're kind of in that tough phase. It's very challenging. There are people who are not getting vaccinated for many different reasons, but one, some people just need that extra push, those folks that are on the fence. And I think that these incentive programs, especially the ones that offer money or scholarships, I think will help get more people, into those vaccination sites.
Yeah, $1 million, pretty good incentive. President Biden wants a stronger investigation into the origins of COVID-19. Here's what he said in a statement. As of today, the U.S. intelligence community has coalesced around two likely scenarios, but has not reached a definitive conclusion on this question. I have now asked the intelligence community to redouble their efforts to collect and analyze information and report back to me in 90 days. This theory that COVID-19 escaped from a lab in Wuhan, gaining some traction. Why is it important at this point to know where the virus originated? And do you think we'll ever really know where it came from?
Well, I think that this theory definitely is plausible. It's not definite. We don't have all of the evidence that we need. I mean, questions that I would ask, especially about this most recent information about these 3 lab workers are, what exactly were they exposed to? What were their diagnoses at the hospital? What were lab protocols like? Unfortunately, due to the lack of transparency by Chinese authorities at the beginning of the pandemic, and then even during the WHO recent investigation, we still have more questions than answers. So I definitely agree with President Biden that we do need an investigation to detect the origin of coronavirus, because, we've seen the devastation it's caused, and it'll help us and protect us from the next pandemic.
Dr. Blackstock, there's a new poll on vaccine honesty. Here are some of the numbers. 88% of people trust family or close friends about their vaccine status. That drops to 71% among coworkers and 25% for people dining indoors or at a bar. Those stats are from an Axios and Ipsos poll. You tweeted about this today asking, was the trust ever really there? What do you think, and how can we work on it?
Right. I mean, those responses are not surprising. People are more likely to trust those closest to them, those within their circle of trust, people that are family members or that they work closely with. But I think what this really tells us, especially now that some of the mask restrictions have been lifted, especially for vaccinated people, is that we're going to need businesses, employers, state and local entities to make sure that we are still keeping unvaccinated people protected. And what does that look like? That looks like either asking for proof of vaccination or requiring masks still indoor areas where the infection rates are still quite high and vaccination rates are low. And so, I think that we can all agree that it's hard to trust folks that we don't know. And so we're going to need businesses and state and local authorities to keep everyone safe.
It's incredible when you go out, even just this week when I went to the grocery store or to get a cup of coffee or to the farm stand, I know I'm vaccinated. People around me are vaccinated. Everybody still has their masks on, even if the signs say that if you're vaccinated, you can let them go. And I'm sure that trust factor, that concern, definitely plays in.
Yeah,
I know it's on
absolutely.
my mind when I go anywhere that I don't know what everybody else has been doing. I only know what I've been doing.
Right.
Speaking of maybe losing the masks and having a little more fun, Memorial Day weekend is almost here. And CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says, if you're vaccinated, have a good time. Here she is.
If you are vaccinated, you are protected, and you can enjoy your Memorial Day. If you are not vaccinated, our guidance has not changed for you. You remain at risk of infection. You still need to mask and take other precautions.
Dr. Blackstock, what is your advice for families this weekend?
Right. And that last part of what Dr. Walensky said is so important, that the rules and the guidelines for unvaccinated people have not changed. And as we go into Memorial Day weekend, people are going to be traveling and there are going to be large gatherings. And so, I would say, obviously, in small gatherings, when you know who else is there and you know the vaccination status, we know that even for unvaccinated people, it's safe for them to be in small gatherings with people who are vaccinated. But if you are in, large gatherings or crowds with people, you don't know their vaccination status. If you are unvaccinated, you should definitely mask up and physically distance. As for children, especially indoors, we have to keep our children with their masks on because they still have not, especially those under 12, have not been vaccinated yet. But it seems like outdoor is the place that people want to be. Spend as much time outdoors and not in indoor crowded areas. And that's the way that you're going to make sure that Memorial Day weekend is going to be a safe vacation for everybody.
Yeah, let's pray for some sunshine so people can get outside and enjoy themselves. Dr.
Right.
Blackstock, always good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Allison.